What's good, guys? This is Vahography. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. In this video, I'm going to show you how to shoot the old school way with your modern DSLR. This is a perfect video for you to get good for all you beginner photographers. I'm going to show you how to set up your DSLR to shoot the old-fashioned way. What this technique that I'm about to explain to you in this video will skyrocket your skills. Now, in this video, I'm talking to all you DSLR owners. In my hand, I have a Nikon F3. So back in the day when we used to learn photography, we used to do it the old-fashioned way. There's no LCD display. We have our exposure, our aperture control right on the lens. And that's it. There's no display to look at. We don't look at the display or anything like that. Manual focus. So the F3 was an amazing tool for me when I started photography. But you can use these tips I'm about to explain to you in this video with your ultra modern DSLR. Now I'm talking to all you modern DSLR beginner photographers out there. So let's say you have a Canon Rebel or a Nikon D600 or a D3200, whatever. As long as it's a DSLR, not a mirrorless camera. All you DSLR owners, you have the OVF, which is an optical viewfinder. Now, before I get into all the good stuff, go ahead and like and subscribe to Vahography. If this is your first time on this channel, we talk all things photography, tutorials, lens reviews, camera reviews. We also have Vahography Talks. Go ahead and like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. You will be notified when I upload new videos. And by the way, before I get into it, stick around end of this video for all you gearheads out there. I'm going to show you some pretty cool equipment. Cool combination. I was about to go shoot with this combination and I thought I'd show you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. All you beginner photographers, you ready? So you have your DSLR, right? You want to mimic that DSLR to be a classic camera like this one. F3, this is the F3. But your DSLR, we're going to turn it into something retro. The first thing you want to do to your DSLR is get it off auto mode or any type of mode other than M. Look for the M dial on your camera and set it to M. M means manual. Okay, very important, guys. Set your mode in your camera to record on M before you do anything else. If it's not on M, then this whole test is just void. So make sure you're on manual mode. 36 shots. Those are the rules for this test. So the reason why I want you to shoot 36 shots, back in the film days with the F3 and the roll of film, we only had, for example, 24 or 36 shots. I want you to do the same here. What this will do is be extra careful in the shots you're taking. This will help you compose the shot right. What you want to do is give it a little bit of extra effort. You only have 36 shots in your film. Well, you're using digital, but you only have 36 shots to get these shots right. So that's why I want you to pretend you have film in your camera and you only have 36 shots. Let's prioritize your shooting. We want to be extra careful in our composition. And we want to make every shot count like we did in the film days. Number 2, turn off your display. This is easily done in your menu system. You're taking a picture, boom. Don't even look at the display. Make sure it's turned off. And if you can't figure out how to turn off the display, put tape over it. Put some gaffer tape over your display. I mean, this is key. Okay, guys? I know you will be tempted to look at your displays. Make sure you got the exposure right. Don't look at your shots. This is the way you will learn. This is the way you will get better at photography. The old school way. Number 3, let's talk about ISO. You're wondering what that ISO button is and what that does. So, in the old days we had film, right? And this film right here on the top corner, it says 200. This is 200 speed film. Set the camera to 200 ISO, mimicking you're using a 200 speed film. And do not change that. You can do 400 if you feel more comfortable. Set it to 100, 200, or 400, your ISO dial. Do not change that one bit. For example, if you're going to be doing this test and shooting outdoors in bright sunlight, go ahead and set it to the minimum ISO you can. Most beginner DSLRs, you can set it up to 200 ISO. So set that up and don't change the ISO one bit. You are mimicking the speed of the film. Okay, so we're not touching our ISO dial at all. Number 4, figure out what your shutter speed is. Now, this exercise, back in the day when we used to shoot, especially paid gigs with film, I would carry around a light meter. Basically tells me what my shutter speed should be when I'm shooting. Use the meter on your camera if you want, but if you have a light meter, go ahead and do that too. Now, we're mimicking old tactics that we would use when shooting with old school cameras back in the 70s, 80s. Meter your scene and set your shutter speed accordingly. Set your aperture up according to the shutter speed of the camera, and we already know that we're on a set ISO setting, and that ISO setting is not going to change. Now, the next step is to shoot a few different things. Don't use your 36 roll. Remember, you have 36 shots to get it right. Don't use that and shoot only one thing. Change up your scene. Go to a nice bright area and then change it up. Go to a nice darker area. You need to be aware of your shutter speed, your aperture. Being aware of those two elements and how to set them according to your meter on your camera will drastically improve your photography skills as a beginner. Now remember, this is key. Do not look at your LCD in the back of the camera. You know, the back of the camera, LCD, it just defeats the purpose of this test. So, you know, if you don't know how to shut it off, like I said, put some tape over the LCD. We do not want to look at the display at all. We're going to shoot old school style for this test. This will drastically improve your skills as a beginner photographer using the old school methods. I'm telling you guys, this will skyrocket your abilities to get you off that auto setting. Yeah, guys, so shooting selective shots and knowing that you only have 36 shots to get it right will help you drastically improve and prioritize the shots that you take. This will help you compose the shot right, take your time. Back in the day, film was, you would pay for film, right? And you only had a certain number of shots. And then we knew we had to pay for the processing of the film and to make prints. Well, the good thing is you don't need to pay for no processing, just your time. So get back home, load the images to your computer and see what you did wrong. Eventually, you will get really good at this. And without even looking at a meter, without even looking at your LCD, you just look at the scene and say, okay, judging by the light at the scene, I already know, 500th of a second. Boom, 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 aperture f4, whatever. Boom, you don't even need to look at your LCD. I'm guilty of this. We take a couple pictures, we look at our LCD, make sure everything's right. Sure, we all do that, and that's okay to do that. But this exercise will speed up your learning process and help you understand what shutter speed is, what exposure means, aperture. Will help you understand the amount of light in your scene and what your camera settings should be. So I'm at a point right now where I've been shooting so much that even if I turned off my LCD right now, I can just shoot a whole photo shoot without my LCD, without even looking at it, because I already know, I understand metering, I understand shutter speed. Yeah, guys, this will help you get out of auto mode drastically. Turn off your LCD, shoot at a low ISO, and most modern cameras, and I'm pretty sure your lens and your camera is autofocus. If you want to take this to the next level and really get used to your camera settings, turn off the autofocus. With the no VF, there's no peaking, there's nothing like that. So manual focus the shot, that's taking it to a whole nother level. Once you get good at exposure and aperture settings and the amount of light and metering your scene, try another 36 shots with manual focus. Shooting landscape, shooting the beach or mountains is one thing. We're mostly shooting at infinity. However, if you really want to get good with your settings and you really want to take this to the next level, Ask your friend to pose for you. Take a few portraits with your camera with these settings. Guarantee you, when you have a subject to shoot, when you're doing headshots, when you're doing portraits of a person, it's a little trickier. So turn off your LCD and manual focus those portraits. Focus right on the eye, get your composition right, and guarantee you, you'll be out of auto in no time. All right, guys, hopefully you'll try that. Let me know in the comments how it came out. Remember, turn off that display. As promised, all you gearheads out there, I'm going to show you something cool right now. All right, ever wondered what a Z50 mirrorless camera looks like with a 200 f2? Right here, buddy. Just mounted my 200 f2 on a Z50 with the FTZ adapter, and I was about to go test it out, do some shots with this lens. I was really curious using this combination right here, so I'm about to do that. Z50 mirrorless camera with the G lens 200 f2 VR2 lens with an FTZ adapter. Cool combination, huh, guys? Yeah. All right, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. We'll catch you on a future video. Remember, have fun out there and just rock and roll. This is Vahography. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. And we'll catch you very soon. Yeah, I decided to use the Fuji X-H1 for this video. How does it look? I'm using an adapter and I'm using a Nikon vintage AI lens, 50mm 1.4 lens. I'm at f2 with an adapter. So obviously I'm doing manual focus with this clip. And yeah, just wanted to test out different combinations. That's what we do on this channel. You know, we test out different combinations. We have a lot of fun. So adapter, Fuji X-H1, manual focus, Nikon 50mm AI lens on that thing. And I just got me a Paragear 10mm Fuji mount lens. Let me do this. Let me go ahead and mount that right now and let's see what it looks like. 10mm fisheye Paragear lens. It's a 5.6 fixed 5.6 lens, manual focus lens. This lens is tiny, guys. This Paragear lens, it's $89. 89 bucks. Cool deal, guys. Thank you, and we'll talk to you soon. Rock and roll.